Hello, hello, and happy Wednesday. Today we are back with another live, but here today we have three incredible business owners, three incredible women that are joining us. And these are our Breakthrough of the Year finalists. So something we do in Product Biz Academy every single year is that we have our PBA members share their breakthrough, share their transformation, share their story, and then the PBA community votes on the amazing videos that everyone submits, and we get our top three finalists with the biggest breakthroughs, the biggest transformation, the most inspiring stories. And we have three incredible women that are our Breakthrough of the Year finalists. We have Daisy from Little Buddha by Daisy. We have Kelley from Maddie and Me Handmade, and we have Whitney from Cleansed Pure and Simple. So we're gonna bring them on video, and we're gonna have a little bit of just a Q&A. I have some questions for them, and if you all have questions as well, we are gonna go ahead and be able to ask them questions that you have, and really just get to know them and their experience growing their business and being in PBA. So let me actually bring some people on with us. Let's get this set up. Oh my gosh, Daisy.
Hello. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. I'm excited.
Oh my gosh, I'm so excited. We're gonna bring Kelley on really quick. Okay, I see Kelley joining. Hello,
Hi.
Kelley.
Can
Hi.
you hear me okay?
Yes,
Hi.
I can. And let me see if Whitney's here. I don't see her just yet. So we're going to get started and we'll have her pop on when she's here. But let me formally introduce you both. So people who are here live or watching the replay know who you are, what you do, and then we'll start with some questions. So Kelley, let me start with you. Kelley is the owner of Maddie and Me Handmade, and she makes the beautiful headbands that you see on her head right now. And she is one of our Breakthrough of the Year finalists because she has her products in over 100 stores. And she has a 6.9 conversion rate on Faire, which is outstanding. She has over 1,000 orders on Etsy with a 2.5% conversion rate on Etsy, which is incredible. Team of 2 employees as of this year, really helping her to grow her business. And what I love most, Kelley, about how you've built your business is you're a mom of two and you don't rely on markets, you don't rely on social media, yet your business is still rocking and rolling. So I'm so glad to have you here.
Thanks
Oh
for having me.
my gosh, of course. Okay, let me introduce Daisy as well. And I think I see Whitney coming on board too. So Daisy is the owner of Little Buddha by Daisy, and she has had an incredible holiday season with $18,000 in sales just during the holiday season. I think it's from like November 16th to end of December, and that's online sales, which is absolutely incredible. So Daisy has really built a machine with her business, and she was actually able to take 2 weeks off with her business during the holiday season to spend time with family while her team took care of everything. So I think that's just incredible. And Daisy also in over 160 stores, has over 2,600 orders on Etsy. So both of these incredible business owners are just a testament of what can really happen where you build your business and grow your online sales. So welcome to you too, Daisy.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for having me. I'm excited.
Okay. So I do have an update. Whitney, if you're on, I just tried to bring you on and it's giving me an error that we only can do 3 people max. So Whitney, if you're available, we're going to do like a solo live, you and I, after this, where I'll ask you the same questions, but looks like we have a little bit of a tech difficulty there, Whitney. So let me know in the comments if you see that and we'll get you on and we can ask you these questions and give you your spotlight too. Okay? Okay, well, with that, let me ask both of you here. Maybe we start with you, Kelley. Tell us a little bit about what your business was like before you joined PBA.
Yeah, so I was really overwhelmed. And I think that having 2 kids at the time when I joined PBA, I think my youngest was probably 5 and not in school full time yet. So I was just overwhelmed. I was doing it all myself and just running myself into the ground, working a ton, working on the weekends. I remember my husband would have to like take the kids out on the weekends and I would be missing out on, important family time. And it just was at a point where I was like, this can't continue at this pace because I wanted to continue to grow, but I just was at a point where I was completely overwhelmed.
Yeah. And what were you really focusing on with your business at that point? Because I know not only kids trying to grow your business, but also you were doing a lot of things made to order. Like you were getting orders, but it was like, okay, I got to stop everything and make this, right?
Yeah, and when I joined PBA, I was still doing markets. So that was another thing that, as you all know, preparing for markets is really a huge undertaking. And, you have to have all the stock and you have to make sure you can fill your table and you don't know how many people are going to be purchasing. And so I did a couple of, bigger markets and it was just so overwhelming. And so everything was made to order. I had so many fabrics and so many offerings of different styles, I had bows. I still have some bows, but I really pared it down. And so the made to order thing was like coming out with new products, new fabrics every season, and having to do the photographs and just doing the photographs myself. And it was just like, this something has to give.
Hmm. Okay, beautiful. I love how you painted that picture. And I'm gonna go to Daisy too and ask her what her business was like before, and then we're gonna talk about what shifted and what does your business look like now. So Daisy, tell us what your business was like before you joined PBA.
So 100% completely different from how it is now. It was just me at that time. And I was working about 5 to 7 markets a week. And I was pretty much making all day to kind of keep up with the demand of doing all those markets. And I really wasn't focusing on like business things. I just thought I needed to make and go to markets. And that I thought that was just a business. And I was missing out on all my like family events. I was missing out on time with friends. Like the weekends were not like weekends. Pretty much I was working all the time. And I was starting to burn out. I didn't really enjoy the business anymore because I wanted to start my own business to have freedom, and I had pretty much zero freedom because I was tied to working all the time.
Hmm. Yeah, and I think so many people can relate to that. Both of your stories of like something has to change because all of our time, all of our energy is going into this business, but it's just not leading to the results that we want. So I'm going to get you back to Kelley. What does your business look like currently, and how do you run your business currently?
So I was thinking of things this morning, and I'm just so proud of where I am right now because it's changed so much, and I now have 2 employees that I hired this year. One of the things Monica really helped me with seeing and understanding is that I needed to train somebody to make the entire headband. I couldn't just have someone helping me sew the strips because it's a long process and it takes a while, but I just couldn't see being able to find someone that could do it with the attention to detail that I had. And so I was fortunate enough to find 2. I was intending to hire 1 person, but I ended up hiring 2 because I just felt that I was in a place where I could have the 2 people, and they've been amazing. They've helped me. I have stock made now. Another thing that has really changed is I've pared down all my offerings, so I'm not offering 30 headbands, and I now have a core group of 10, and then I have a couple that I introduce seasonally, but I already have those. um, for the most part, I already have the photographs for those, so I can just pop them back on when the spring summer collection comes out. And so things are just running more smoothly, and I am not making every day all day. And I'm able to now, one of the things I'm working on in 2025 is store outreach because I've done really well on Faire, and the wholesale has been incredible. I mean, I would have never imagined being on a wholesale platform because I just couldn't wrap my head around having to make that many headbands. And I'm not getting orders for thousands of headbands. Obviously, I'm not in Target or, and that's not my goal, but I'm in these amazingly small, beautiful boutiques and I'm getting orders, 10, 20, 30 headbands. And so now one of the goals for 2025 is store outreach. And so I'm really excited to be able to start working more as, a CEO instead of just making, but actually reaching out to stores and doing that.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, and seeing the shift in you too of making everything to order, doing it on your own, and then you did hire someone to make the strips, but there was still like some friction, like, okay, I've got these strips, but I still have to knot the headbands, I still got to glue them, I still got to braid them, to now having 2 employees that come in. Tell us about the arrangement. Like they come into your studio in your home, they help you once a week. What do you guys do during those hours, and how does that work with them?
Yes. So basically, we do Fridays, like 3 hours every Friday, and then they come in, and then we do just a bunch of sewing. whether it's an order I have to get out or, just remaking stock that's been sold. So we do that for 3 hours, and then they take stuff with them to then do at home. So they're each doing, each week is different depending on their availability, but they're each doing about 5 to 6, 7 hours a week. So, it's about 20 hours a week sometimes. But yeah, it's just kind of a collaborative effort between us. One of the girls lives really close by, so she can pop over and just deliver stuff and pick up stuff again. And then, yeah, so it's just been really awesome. So having the space here, I have 2 sewing machines set up on my table. I have my sewing machine that I had with me when I started the business in London. I have the big, the converter thing that we had to get to make it work here. And then I have my US sewing machine on the other side of the table. And so we're working here. And it's been nice too to kind of have a little bit of a, instead of it always being myself, they're in their 20s, they're super young, and it's fun to have them over. They're just, it's been a lot of fun to have some other people to hang out with and to kind of share. And they've also helped me a little bit. We kind of changed actually the design that I was doing with one of them, because they both like make their own clothes. They're actually better seamstresses than I am. So it's been fun to have them on board, just kind of sharing their ideas and bouncing things back and forth on them. So yeah, I'm so
Yeah.
grateful.
I love that. That's incredible. And what has really led to you having those employees is Faire, getting into all of these stores in over 100 stores, 4 international countries, having over 1,000 orders on Etsy. So tell me a little bit how PBA has helped you to grow your Faire accounts, to grow your Etsy orders. What specifically did you focus on in PBA that has helped you grow in those places?
Um, so I think that just when I first started PBA, doing the rebrand with someone that I hired, because back then you weren't doing the whole rebrand with your team. So I did the rebrand and just finding photos, finding a photographer that can do the proper photos. That was huge. So really, optimizing my site so they look, as professional as they can. So boutiques and people shopping online, because obviously when you're doing a market, you can talk about the product, you can, they can touch and feel the product, try the product on. But when it's an online situation, you can't do that. And so just having the photos, really upgrading and, you know, spending the money on those things, because those are the things that are, you're spending the money on them, but in the end, they're going to come back twofold, And so just really trying to optimize everything and just spend a lot of time making my online presence just look as well as it can. That's been, I think, one of the things I'm really glad that you encouraged me and us to do.
Yeah, and tell me a little bit too about specifically with the photos. So not only getting professional photos, but there's a lot in PBA of like what photos you need and what information people need to see in the photos versus the description versus the reviews. So how did that really come into your strategy for Faire and Etsy too?
Yeah, so getting the photos, but then also, working on the description, all the words that people are reading, but then also within the photos, having the photos kind of have those important words as well. So having like the diagram of my product and kind of showing you the features of the product. So it's not only, it's photos with words, it's also photos with people wearing the headbands, and just trying to do all those photos that you recommend that are so important for the online buyers and the online
Yeah.
presence.
Amazing. So now what is it like when you get an order? Because I know you've told me before that before you had all this in place, sometimes an order would come in and it's like, yes, I'm so grateful, but at the same time, oh my God, I have to stop everything that I'm doing and make these products and ship them. So now what do you feel like when those orders come in?
Yeah, so now when they come in, it's fun because most of them are like sitting right here next to me. I have always about 5 of each style made so that I can just pop them in. And then I have a lot of just the stuff already sewn, like the strip sewn, so that I'm already like breaking down the process and making it easier on myself with the group that I'm working with my employees. So it's not as stressful where it used to be like, oh, now I have to make these 5 headbands from scratch. I have to cut, I have to sew, I have to do all the things. Now it's like, oh, yep, okay, those are done. I can just pop them in a box and then they're on the shipping. I'm also only shipping twice a week, which before I was like, I had to get them to the post office as soon as possible. And I was stressed about, making sure the orders, because, in the land of Amazon, everyone wants their order tomorrow. So trying to just streamline processes so I'm not doing all the
Yeah.
things every day. Yeah.
I remember when we had that conversation, I'm like, Kelley, you don't need to go to the post office every day. Twice a week
Okay.
is perfect.
It makes
And you're like, really?
sense
I'm like,
though. I
yes.
mean,
Yeah.
yeah, I don't know why, but that was, yeah.
It's
So
actually
it's
really
been great.
common. Yeah, that's super common that it's like as soon, so that's what a lot of people do. As soon as an order comes in, it's like got to stop everything that I'm doing and fulfill it and get it to the
Hmm.
post office. But a lot of what you and I have really worked on in PBA is exactly what you said, streamlining, making it simpler. And also sometimes those things are a little bit of like busy work to keep us from doing the uncomfortable work. Like, yeah, it's fun to go to the post office 5 days a week because then I don't have to do what's
Yeah.
uncomfortable, right? So I know that's a lot what we've worked on too. Last thing I want to say to you before I switch over to Daisy is, do you feel like joining PBA and streamlining your business and simplifying your business has allowed you to be more present with your kids, with your family, spending time with them? What does that look like?
Yeah, I think I'm definitely able to turn off work mode more. You know, when my kids come home from school, it's more focusing on what needs to get done, and homework and snack and dinner prep and stuff and after school stuff. So I'm not feeling stressed all the time to have to be working all the time, you know, and the weekends for the most part, I try my very best to not be working. You know, if there's a snowy day and we're home, you know, and they're playing on PlayStation or something, I will do some things. But for the most part, I am like trying to have my work hours be like the school day, you know. So yeah, it's amazing.
Good. I love it. Okay, awesome. If you guys have any questions for Kelley, please post them in the chat as well. And I'm going to switch over to Daisy. Thank you, Kelley, for all that. We're going to come back to you, so hold tight. But
Okay.
let's go to Daisy for a little bit. And Daisy, you told us about how your business was before. So 5 to 7 markets per week, prepping all week long. I know you also had like your brother going to a market, and an employee going to a market. You were going to a market. So that's what things were like before. Can you paint a picture of what your business looks like now after joining PBA?
Yep. So first off, it's been 3 years since I worked a market. So 0 markets
That
now.
is amazing. Weekends
Yeah.
back, 3 years of weekends.
Yes.
How incredible.
Yes, yes, yes. And then not only that, with joining PBA, it's put in so many new structures in my business, and it's allowed me to be able to get a studio, which was my dream of mine. So now my business has its own home, and I have my house back for myself. And we were able to move into a studio in March, and now I have a team of 3. And since June, I have not made an order. I have not made a product, packed an order since June. My team pretty much takes care of all of those things now, which is like, I don't even know. It's a complete game changer. And now I get to work from home. And it's a completely different space from where I was 3 years ago. And holiday season was always like crazy. And like from October to December, I did not like my life. I was consumed with making and doing all the things. And I remember even like 2 years ago, I was making all day, and at night I was packing orders until like 12, 1, 2 in the morning. And I was like, I can't do this. And that's when we were able to bring on some support. And now one of the people that I brought on 3 years ago actually is still with me 3 years later. She's only supposed to be with me for a few weeks, and now she's still with me. She's my packer now. So it's been completely different from how it was 3 years ago.
And talk to me about this holiday season, because you just said before holiday season, October through December, didn't really like what was going on, working until 1 or 2 a.m. packing orders. What was this holiday season specifically like for you?
The exact opposite. I worked a few hours during the day, and I took 2 weeks off for the holiday season. And not only was I able to, enjoy my December, which I never did before, the sales that I was able to bring in while taking time off and while not even stepping foot in my studio, I did 80% more in sales in this December from last December, which is absolutely mind blowing.
Yeah, I get goosebumps when you say that, because the truth is, there's so many small business owners that actually did worse in 2024. It was a tough year. Inflation, it was an election year, which is always really tough for small businesses. There was just a lot happening. So when I hear you say that your December sales were 80% higher than 2023, that is insane. That is absolutely incredible. So what do you think attributed to that? Tell us more about that.
The biggest thing that I think has really been a game changer in my business is Etsy. And prior to working with Monica and in PBA, I did have an Etsy shop. But with going to the markets, I was always kind of overhearing the chatter that, Etsy is the worst and it charges so many fees. I'm like, oh, okay, well, let me cancel it because I have my website and I do markets. I don't need Etsy. I was wrong, completely wrong. Thankfully, with Monica, you guided me on how to create an Etsy shop that actually actually did things, because there's so many people who do skincare, because obviously skincare is one of the probably most saturated markets out there, and there's a million people doing body butters, there's a million people doing soaps. But what I think the biggest differentiator is you teaching us how to actually use Etsy, like Kelley mentioned, using the photos, using the graphics, having proper templates, creating our product listings a certain way. And not only that is, creating the customer experience with, messaging them as soon as they place orders, following up with them for reviews. And I think that's been a huge game changer in my business. With December hitting my first $10,000 month on Etsy, which was insane. Like we were pretty much every month we were doing roughly about 100-ish orders a month, and we did that in less than a week during the holiday season, which is insane.
Yeah, that is incredible. And that's truly what I love to hear and what PBA is all about. It's about creating, both of you had said the words like systems and structure, to be able to have 100, 200 orders coming in within a week on a platform like Etsy. And I love how both of you are examples too of, yeah, you're on Etsy and you're also in stores and you have your own website and you are on social media. So it's not like we're putting all of the eggs in Etsy's basket, but the ones that we do, we make sure they work. And the eggs that are in the Faire basket, we make sure those work. And the eggs that are in the website basket, we also make sure those work. So I love the examples that you've shared. And Daisy, just to reiterate too, tell us, you said 18,000 is what you told me in sales. What was that time period? And also tell me about January, because like things haven't really stopped. You said the first couple of weeks of January were really good. So talk us through, I think like November 16th is when it really picked up. What did that look like from then until now?
Yeah, from November 16th till December 31st, we hit about $18,000 in sales, and it literally has not stopped since December. So now I think we are at maybe don't check my numbers actually, because I have my computer in front of me, but I'll double check, because I think we're almost at 100 orders already, but let me triple check, make sure.
Yeah.
It's that Calm Vibes magnesium body butter you have.
Yeah.
That stuff is
Yes.
amazing.
Uh-huh.
It is.
I second that.
It is skyrocketing. Yeah, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah, we have 99 orders since January 1st.
Wow. That's incredible,
That's
because
awesome.
January is normally a slow month, right? And it's like things aren't stopping. And I remember this happened for you last year too. It was like great holiday season. January, we're still rocking and rolling. And what the beautiful thing is that's all online orders, like 18,000 in online sales in a span of like 7 weeks, November 16th, end of December, no markets. Because yes, you could during the holiday season make some pretty good money at markets. However, you are missing out on time with family, stressed out, burned out, exhausted, traveling to markets, loading, unloading, packing orders, prepping inventory. So here it's like Daisy's like, okay, 18,000 in the bag. I took 2 weeks off. My team took care of it because I've built these systems and this structure so sales come in while I take time off during the holidays. That is like the dream. Absolutely.
And actually, I do want to have like a little like proud moment that I wanted to share. This past week on Monday, I actually went to the studio just to kind of check in, because I really don't remember when was the last time I even went into the studio. And I was so blown away. I went in there, the studio was clean, it was organized. I had asked one of my maker a question because I needed to grab something for myself, and she knew exactly where it was, how much was left, And I walk in, and then my packer is there. She has everything completely organized. Everything, I was like impressed. I'm like, holy crap, you guys are doing a better job than me when I was here. And just seeing them, how they manage it, how they work together as a team. Like I cried because I was like, I probably might cry now. I never thought in a million years that my business could actually be a business, and me able to be at home and then manage it completely has been a huge game changer. And just seeing where I was even a year ago, and just to go back even 3 years ago, like how much being part of PBA has truly changed my life. And I know I wouldn't be here today without PBA. So thank you.
Oh, you're gonna make me cry. We're all gonna just be crying tears.
It's been so fun to watch your journey.
It was
It's been so fun
such an
to see
amazing.
it. Yeah.
Thank you. It was such an amazing feeling just to see, walk in and know that they're taking care of everything, and I don't have to really be a part of it. I mean, obviously, we communicate, but I'm not really a part of it anymore. And I get to actually do the things that I enjoy and work on projects that actually grow the business. And I never thought I was able to do this, and being able to have the tools and the structures in place. And not only that, and having the community like Kelley and like Whitney, and these are like your cheerleaders. So like having everyone in your community is also been a huge thing for me as well.
I love it. Now, I'm going to see if there's any questions in the chat, but while I do that, Daisy, let me ask you one more question on like, what does your life look like currently? Like, where do you spend your time with like being outside in nature, self-care, and actually spending time on yourself? What does that look like for you?
Oh yeah, I mean, I have like 4-hour mornings, just enjoying myself, routine, nature. I work a few hours a day. In the evenings, I have time for myself. Weekends are all mine. So it's been a huge game changer in my personal life. And now I have so many fun hobbies that I do.
Yeah, like what? Tell us.
Painting. I'm preparing to learn how to get my own garden. I'm canning. I'm learning how to like sourdough and like ferment food. Like I have time for things now. So it's been really fun.
Yeah. And I think to add to that too, I know Kelley, you were talking about spending more time with your kids, but you've been able to do like weekend trips up to Michigan to your cottage with your family too. So I think that just shows both of you, when I asked what was your business like before, it was like burnt out, exhausted, chasing after sales, trying to keep up. And now it's like I have weekends with my kids, and if it's snowy, maybe I'll work, but otherwise I'm hanging out with them, and or I'm learning how to garden and can and knit and do all these fun hobbies. So it really brings me so much joy because PBA is not just about growing your business. Yes, it's about growing your business and growing your sales and putting these systems and structures in place, but it's also about getting your life back and like overcoming these challenges and hurdles and being able to do what you love and also like see yourself grow in so many different ways. And you both have done such a fantastic job of that.
Yeah, I just want to speak to like the growth, I think personally, because I think that, this is it's a business like course, but I think that the stuff that you have us doing and all the meetings we have, the monthly meetings, it's a lot of like business stuff, but a lot of it's personal, and it's a lot of personal development, and it's a lot of like, as you say, woo-woo stuff, but like for me, like that has been, I think, really huge this year because I have just grown in such confidence in myself and my business. And I think that like showing up on Instagram, like I'm starting to feel more comfortable doing that, which is really awesome because I just hated Instagram. And I'm like, you know what? Who cares? I'm going to put this stuff out there. And if it reaches the people, and I've like the past few days, I've gotten a lot of followers from, I'm assuming the business group people. And it's just like, I'm out there to like help people and like maybe be an inspiration to other small businesses that like you can do this, and it's super fun and it's super stressful at times still, but like we're doing this, and I'm so thankful for all the stuff that you do with us on a like mental, emotional level too, because that has been huge and so amazing for me personally.
Yeah. I mean, that's a big part of it. Everyone's like, tell me like the one strategy. And I'm like, well, listen, if you are scared of being judged on social media, I can give you all the social media strategy, but you're not going to do it
Yeah.
because you're scared of what so and so from high school that I haven't talked to in 20 years is going to think, right? So a lot of what we do is exactly that, like like getting under the surface so that you too are perfect examples of just boldly showing up as yourself. And I know I say this in our group calls a lot, is like I want every single PBA member to have like I don't give a F mentality of what people think of me because I'm here to help people. I'm here to inspire people. I'm here to give people confidence when they put on my headband or to give them clear skin or a calming body butter that helps them relax. And that's from a place of service versus like, oh my gosh, what is so and so going to think? And I'm like, that's from a place of being selfish, like caring more about what other people think, right? So it's been amazing to see both of you really step out of your shell in both like business, personal, everything in between. So last thing I want to ask you both, and then we're going to bring Whitney on. So Whitney, if you're holding tight, I will bring you on shortly in about 10 minutes. What I want to start with Kelley on is what advice would you give to someone who is debating on joining PBA, not sure, on the fence, scared of the investment, just unsure of if they should do it or not? What advice would you give them?
You should not have any second guesses and you should go for it because I think that what this program does when you open yourself up to doing something like this, sure, it's an investment, it's definitely an expense, but I think that the doors that have opened because of this for me have been amazing, whether that's personally, emotionally stuff, or just like being on Faire and being in some incredible boutiques. It's a lot of hard work. There's a lot of content in the program. But I think one of the things that you need to do when you join the program is you can't like do all the things. You really have to focus and find out what you want for your business and how you want it to look and how you want it to run because there's so many different avenues. There's Faire, there's Etsy, there's SEO, there's Facebook. It's just like overwhelming. But I think that one of the things I love that you do is the 90-day project. And so it really has you focus. And I think that that's one of the things that I love about this is there's so much information in PBA and it's so incredibly helpful. But the fact that like you can focus on one or two things to do really well, that's what I've tried to do. I've focused on Etsy and Faire to make them working for me, and they are. And so, I mean, this has been life changing. I'm so incredibly glad I did this, and I'm continuing to do this with Monica. And it's a great group to be a part of. It's so supportive. I love because everyone's on a different place in their journey. Um, People are brand new starting out. People are also, they've been probably in business longer than I have. But it's just a really great group, and Monica's in it to help you guys. And I think that, there's so many business courses out there. There's so many things, but it's authentic. She's so authentic and she genuinely wants everyone to succeed. And I think that you will not regret it, hands down.
And Kelley, too, you came to our in-person event that was earlier this last year. Our first one was last March.
Yeah.
So how was that being able to meet the PVA community in person and actually come to that event?
Yeah, that was so much fun. I love that event. I'm sad I can't go this
You
year
know,
because it's my spring break with my kids and we're gonna be in Europe, which is not sad. But yeah, I loved being a part of that event because it's so nice to get together with the people that you chat with on Facebook or see on Instagram, and just spending 2 days. Was it 2 days, 3 days? I don't even
too.
remember. It's nice to also go to Phoenix when it's cold and gross here in Chicago. But it was just so inspiring because again, like the stuff that you had us working on is like a lot of like opening these mental blocks, and a lot of the stuff that like you're scared to do in your business is literally like it's mental blocks. And so I love the stuff you did, the experts you brought in, and it was just a really, really great weekend. Highly recommend for you guys to also attend the event. It's so much fun.
Awesome. Love it. Okay, Daisy, let me kick it to you. What advice would you give to someone who's on the fence about joining PBA?
Well, I would say, I mean, do you want to continue the same path that you've been on? Or do you really want to make a change? Because this has absolutely changed my life like 1,000,000%. And also not only myself, but seeing all the other members within the community and seeing where they are when they first started and where they are now, I think it's been such a beautiful experience. I think, like Kelley said, there are so many different courses out there, but with how you structure things, Monica, it's so different with, having your own team, with having, the ability to do rebrands, the ability to have a photographer, which has been a game changer because you have these people who are already vetted and they do an amazing job. Because I had, prior to when you had these options available as photographies and rebrands and all those things, I spent so much money and time vetting photographers who weren't even that good. And now it's like, everything is all in-house. You don't really have to worry about it, think about it. These are all amazing people who are already there for us to help us. And your coursework is amazing. The mindset things that you do are amazing. You bring in like the woo, the spiritual aspect, the things that are really blocking us. So it's an all-encompassing program. It doesn't give you just the strategies, because the strategies aren't going to, like you mentioned, do anything if your mindset isn't there. And the community is also incredibly helpful. To have a support whenever you need it there's no value for it, to be honest. And so I think if you really are ready to make a change and you really want to make your business a business and not a hobby, then this is what you need to do. And it's definitely worth the investment.
Awesome. Well, thank you both so much. I'm going to say a couple things before you guys drop off. So number one, we're going to bring Whitney on in just a minute. Number two, after we do an interview with Whitney, I'm going to reshare with you all a link to vote for the Breakthrough of the Year winner. So Daisy and Kelley are two of our finalists. Whitney is finalist number 3. And at the end of today, when voting closes, we're going to choose the Breakthrough of the Year winner, who has some incredible prizes for being just a massive inspiration to the community. But you two have already inspired so many. You're already insane winners with what you've done in your business and how you've showed up for your business, for yourself, for your life, for the people here in this community. So thank you so much, both of you, for being here. I appreciate you so much.
Appreciate you too. Thank you, Monica.
Thank you.
Hey, take care. And we are going to bring
Bye.
Miss Whitney on. Okay, Whitney, let's see if we can get you on here. I apologize for the tech issue. Oh my gosh, there she is.
Hey.
Woman of the hour. Thank you. I'm so sorry about that. We
Oh no,
tested
it's fine.
this with my team, but we tested with 3 people. I'm like, okay, I need to get a 4th person to test this next time, because that was something I wasn't expecting. But
It's
thank you.
totally fine.
Okay, thank you so much for hanging out here. Well, let
Yeah.
me give you a formal introduction.
Okay.
So Whitney is the owner of Cleansed skincare business, and Whitney is a relatively newer business owner. Really, you kicked off November 2023
Yeah.
and joined PBA early in 2024, went through the rebrand process, and has just flourished in her business, in her confidence. And what I love that you shared with me is your Q4 2024 sales doubled compared to 2023, which is
Yeah.
absolutely incredible. And not only that, Whitney is someone who didn't have any social media before, and she joined PBA, had her Instagram, and now she's showing up on Instagram Lives, showing up on her stories, talking about her business. Just confidence that you have grown has just been so amazing to see. So I'm so grateful to have you here as one of our finalists.
Thank you. It's so exciting.
Oh my gosh, I love it. So take us back to what was business like before PBA. So 2023 is time frame. Tell us about it.
Okay, so before PBA, I just tried markets and I really fell in love with markets, but it was a lot of time commitment. But I loved being able to meet new people and bring them these incredible products. And so even before I did my first market, I had a vision of wanting something more, wanting to be able to do a website and things like that. So I was just really stuck in, am I going to be doing all these markets all of the time? Can I have a website and bring our products to, people around the country? So just a lot of trying to figure things out, a lot of really tiny baby steps, a lot of Google, a lot of just trying to figure it out all on my own with so much uncertainty behind it all.
Mm-hmm. And I think what's interesting about your story is when you joined PBA, you were still like pretty new in business. Because
Very new.
sometimes, yeah, sometimes when people join PBA, it's like, I've been doing this for 2 years, I'm stuck, this is like my last ditch effort. But you were like, okay, let me join even though I'm new. So what was your train of thought when you joined as to why you did at that point?
So my train of thought was I knew when we started Cleansed that the outcome that I wanted was to bring this to so many people. And I had a big dream. Like I'm kind of an all or nothing kind of person. So I had this huge dream of this business and being able to, provide these great products. And I was just like, this is my chance. This is the program that I really honestly had been waiting for, just like looking through other things. But when we booked our discovery call and I was able to talk with you and product-based business. And so I was like, this is what I need. Even though it was early, I just had such a big dream and hope of making Cleanse something even more. So it was just like perfect timing. Being new, I didn't really have to unlearn a lot of like bad habits. Like I was able to just really get in the groove and learn all of the things that have gotten me to where I am today. Still new in it, but just the growth has just been amazing. So that was the goal of starting really early and then wanting to be able to have that growth
I
after.
love that because I get so many questions of like, should I wait to join PBA until I try to figure this stuff on my own? And I'm like, exactly
No.
what you said. I'm like, you can try and then you can join and then you can redo everything that you did and
Yeah.
actually do it the right way or just do it the right way from the start. So
Yeah.
I love your mentality there. Were there any hurdles for you for the investment, knowing that you were an early, still new business?
The investment was kind of like I wrestled with that, but my husband and I talked so much about when we put this business together that we wanted this to be something more. So we both talked of if we don't invest in it, then there is no hope of a business because I wasn't going to get it anywhere where it is today by myself. 12 months, like I would still probably be in the same spot, scared to death, like all the things. So it really pushed me to make the investment, pushed me to get out of the mentality. This is not a hobby. I'm not going to play around with this. This is a business. Like our desire and our goal was to have a business. So just being able to invest has really propelled me forward. Like, okay, I've got to do this. Like, there's no playing around with it.
I love that. Now tell us with that mentality and going all in and investing in PBA. And now that you've been in PBA for about a year, what does your business look like? Tell us about the rebrand, tell us about the confidence, tell us about your Q4 sales and launching your new rebrand, etc.
The rebrand was huge because when I first joined PBA, I had done all of the labels myself, all of the photography, like everything was just done on my own. And when you and I talked, I was so torn of do I just work on photography? Do I do the rebrand? And so I really liked kind of the look that I had. It was a very clean look, but I just felt like there was something missing. So going with the rebrand and focusing all of my attention in that direction, I truly believe that plus the confidence has been the biggest game changer for my business because now it looks professional. Just the whole look of it, it's just an incredible experience of what a rebrand can do, even for something it was okay, like it wasn't terrible, but now it's just like it's in a whole nother level of professional.
Yeah, I completely agree because your branding and your labels, they were good. When you joined PBA, I'm like, these are actually good. But what I tell people is like there's that next version. There's an
Yeah.
elevated version of it. Doesn't mean what you have now is bad, but can it be elevated? Yes. And that's exactly what happened when you went through the rebrand.
Yeah.
So after you went through the rebrand, tell us about like then you did like a pretty like a launch, a rebrand, a reinvention of your business and
Yeah.
how that went.
So Cleanse has been reinvented and the rebrand, then we had amazing photography. Like that alone just propelled us forward. It's really hard to even put into words of like everyone's like, oh, photography. No, photography is huge because now you can see the labels. And to go back to the labels with the rebrand, I didn't know what to put on the labels. Like you taught me the words to say because you and I talked so much. Like in-person sales were phenomenal. Like I've always done incredible at a market, but I was there saying all of those things and you taught me how to get that on a label. So the label is speaking when I'm not there in person or when they pull it up on my website. So that transition also was just so helpful. And then that just put us ready to relaunch with an incredible website with the photography, incredible labels. And our first week of our launch, like I was blown away. Like we did $1,500 in sales our first week on our relaunch. So it was incredible just to see all of those pieces come together. The hard work paid off. Like it was a lot of work. It was very challenging. I know you and I went back and forth a lot on just the word. I was like, the words, like, oh my goodness. Like, but now, like, it's done. All of that piece it's just all ready. And now I just market it and push it and get it in front of people. And it speaks for itself now. Like, it's so elevated. It's so, like, it just has such a classic look now that it's just, I don't know, it's just amazing of where it is now.
Yeah, and I love that you mentioned the labels because that's a big part of it is to have your labels to be able to sell your products for you on shelves in a retail store, on a website, on Etsy, on Faire, on Instagram, no matter where they are. So that's a huge part of what we do in PBA
Yeah.
is the specific words on the labels, not just the
They
name of the
matter.
product and like the ingredients. Like we have specific marketing words
Yeah.
in there and it's so
Yeah.
impactful. So I love that you mentioned that. Now tell us about social media because before you had no personal social media, maybe didn't even know how to use Instagram, totally brand new, and now you're doing lives, you're on your stories, you're posting reels. So talk to us about both like the learning curve and also the confidence curve that happened there.
Yeah, the learning curve was huge. Like I knew when I did my first market, I was like, people are like, what, how do I find you? Like, what are you like, where are you going to be next? Or how do I get more product? I was like, oh man, I didn't even think through that. I was like, I'm going to have to be on social media. I'd never jumped on social media, however many years it's been around. I never did that. So I was like, oh my gosh, I've got to start a business page, a business account. I had no clue, Monica, what I was doing. I started this business account. I was just like, I'm going to figure it out. I was terrified. It felt like I was talking to like a black hole of nobody. And it was just overwhelming. The learning curve, like I kind of picked it up, like I kind of could figure out like how to do it. But then it was just like I didn't want to do it because I was so terrified of putting myself out there, putting our products out there. Even though I knew our products were so great, it just felt so personal and overwhelming. So to be able to go through PBA and work on my confidence, like that in of itself, like take the rebrand away, take the new website, take the new pictures away. Without confidence, my business was going nowhere. I think like had I had the confidence, the website probably would have been okay. Maybe the labels would have been okay, but it needed to be that where it is now. But without the confidence, I wasn't going to make those huge leaps, like not just baby steps, leaps. Like
Yes.
to show my face the first time I made that tiny little post with like my pictures like this big.
I was gonna say that. I was gonna say that.
It was terrifying. Like it was just so overwhelming. But to work through the confidence, like I kind of like Daisy, like I kind of get emotional because confidence has been an issue for me. I'm not gonna cry. Literally my whole life. Like my husband and I were just talking about this. Like I couldn't walk into a room and greet people. I couldn't hold my head up. To think of where I am today, I can show my face on social media to whoever wants to watch it, however many people that is, and show up out of a service heart for others and to be willing to put myself out there. The confidence, Monica, has literally changed my life. Like literally. And it's just such an example of when we trust in our products, we get that mentality out of our head of all these people are, what are they going to think? What are they going to say? Oh, you're a soap lady. Like people would laugh like, oh, you're making soap. Like how silly is this? And I took it to heart. And now I don't care what those people think. It doesn't matter because I know why I started my business and I know the service and the clean products that it provides for people. I want to show up. I want to be there for that community. And I want to be an example to my girls who I started this for, that you can do this. Like you can have confidence to grow whatever it is that you're called to do. But if we sit quiet, we can't do that. So to go from January of last year to today, there really are no words. And so grateful that you've been along part of this journey of helping me find that confidence and being so excited to show up. Like I still get a little nervous when I push that button, but it's like fun excitement, you know? It's just like it's a different nervousness of what it was 12 months ago.
Yeah, and I'm gonna elaborate on that little photo you talked about. Because remember, Whitney had her social media, and we're like, all right, Whitney, it's time to post a picture of yourself. Like she had her beautiful soaps and products, and she was posting that, but no photo of her on her Instagram page, her business Instagram at all. So Whitney was like, okay, I'm gonna do it. And I'm like, okay, by when? And she gave me a date. And the day that she posted her first post of her photo, it's a graphic, and her photo is in the little corner, just barely you can see her there. And I was like, all right, we got to keep working on this. But now, like you said, you're posting reels of your face, you're on your stories, you're doing lives talking about your products. And the beautiful part is you're actually like talking and selling your
Yeah.
products. You're not doing a live of like, here's what I did today. It's like you're doing a live, here's my body butter, let me show you the texture, here are the benefits. So I want to dive in and ask you, what in PBA helped you with that confidence? Was it some of the coaching calls and really getting underneath the surface? Like what really shifted for you to be able to be where you are now with showing up on your Instagram?
The coaching calls were incredible, have been so just transformative of just like my mindset. And I remember you going through an exercise of like, okay, what if, and I'm like, nothing would happen, or it would be no big deal. And you're like, okay, like it's not a big deal. Like the world's not going to come to an end. Like you're not going to lose it. Like just working through those exercises of like, let me sit for a moment in the nervousness and acknowledge like it's okay to be scared. It's okay to be nervous. But are we going to sit there forever? Are we going to acknowledge it and we're going to move on? And we're going to say, it's okay to be scared in this moment. But after I do this, it's going to be like, oh gosh, I did that. So I can do it again and I can do it again. So it was just being able to have that mentality of working through those coaching calls and truly thinking as a service. Like my business is a service for others. It was a service for my family first, and now getting to bring this to other people, providing them clean products. That alone, just that shift in my mindset, I'm not selling. I'm providing something that I truly believe in, and I truly believe it's the best product for your sensitive skin. And just being able to share that openly and excitedly now, it's just been a whole shift of my mindset of coaching calls, working with you, the community, like hearing these ladies, it's mostly ladies, but there are a few guys in there, but just like hearing these women like be so encouraging and post comments on my reels or comments on my stories or say, Whitney, you did a great job talking. Like, I remember the first few stories that I talked through, I was terrified. And like, so many of those ladies showed up on my stories and were giving me so many encouraging messages. Like, just the whole PBA experience with you, with the community, it's just been a game changer for where I am personally. Like, it's personal growth and professional growth, but I would never change the personal growth. Like, I would get rid of the sales numbers and keep this personal growth. Like, that's how impactful it has been.
How has that ripple effect been into your life? Because I know you said before, like, if you would go into a room, you'd maybe shy away. So what ripple effect has this confidence in yourself led to in your life?
It is, I've always been just, I've always loved to talk to people and meet people, but I've always just been a little like hesitant about it and just like unsure of where I stand in the conversation. And now just like, I don't care. Like, if I want to talk to you, I want to be able to talk to you and engage in you, like engage in that conversation, but without feeling like, oh, did I say the wrong thing? Or just like, just being so unsure of myself and what others thought. It's changed so much, Monica. Like, I haven't even told you this story, but when we were on vacation, I met this lady at the pool. I always meet people on vacation. I'm like, oh, lifelong best friend. Like, I'm always that kind of person that just meets people. And I would have never have said I have a business. Like, I would have just said I'm a stay-at-home mom. And she asked what I do and things. And so I said, I actually have a business that I started. And so just being able to have the confidence in that, she actually ordered a $400 order from
Oh,
me.
oh my gosh. Look, oh, wow.
Like, just this conversation. And I didn't tell her that out of like, oh, I hope you buy from me. Like, I told her that out of like, I was so excited to share, like, I have a real business that I was able to start, like, not a business from someone else. I don't work for someone else. Like, this is something I was able to do. And it just came from like such excitement that I was almost like, ooh. Like, it just kind of like came out. And then when I saw that order, I was just, she ordered all of her Christmas gifts, like all her
Aw.
Christmas gifts from us. Like, just that amount of confidence. I'm not saying I go and like buy for me, like, that's not the confidence, but just to be able to share, I have this business that I created and I'm so excited to share it with you. And I'm just so excited to share my own personal growth. Like, it's just amazing.
Aw, that's amazing. I love that so much. Okay, last question I'm gonna ask you
Okay.
is what advice would you give someone who's on the fence about PBA, who's either nervous about the investment or the commitment, or they're too new, or is it possible for them? What would you say to that person?
I think you have to really decide on, do you want your business to be a hobby or do you want it to be a business? If you want it to be a business, and like I said in my finalist video, if you want to be challenged, this is the program to do it. You know what you're talking about. You're there with us every step of the way. It's not like we pay for this program and we never hear from you, we never see you. You're in that Facebook group all the time answering our questions. If you're not answering our questions, then other ladies in the group are, and then you come in and chime in. Like, if you're on the fence, you just have to think, where do I want to be in 12 months? And that's where I was 12 months ago. Like, where do I want to be? What do I want to see my business? Where do I want to see it? So PBA is an investment. It is, but if you invest in it, it pushes you forward because you're not just going to sit there and do nothing. You've invested in yourself. You've invested in your business. You're ready to be challenged. Like, I know I was looking at some of the Facebook comments and some people are like, I'm kind of nervous. Like, embrace that nervousness and just be so excited to where you're going to be in 12 months, because I was nervous too, but I was so excited for every call, and I'm like, oh, there's a call, like, I can't wait to get on. And so it's just such an incredible opportunity to grow personally, grow professionally, and grow with other business owners. Like, that's been the greatest thing. Like, we have you and we have a community. It's not like one or the other, because I think it would just be weird with one or the other. So you've married the two together so incredibly well that it feels just like you have people cheering for you, like literally. Like Daisy and Kelley, like they're always like liking my stuff or saying sweet things, and you're liking my stories, or it's just like it's an incredible opportunity to grow and get your business where you want it to be. And I would personally recommend it hands down to any person that's ready to make that investment and really think, do I want a business or do I want a hobby? And if you want a business, this is the place for you to do it.
Now, let me ask you one follow-up question, because I remember on our discovery call last year, you were like, but tell me about the modules. Are these going to be easy to follow? Is it going to be challenging? And you had told me that you used to be a teacher. And I'm like, Whitney, if you used to be a teacher, you're going to love these modules, because I swear in a past life, I was a teacher, because it's checklists, it's worksheets, it's easy to
Yes.
follow. I'm like, I think it's great. My members say it's great. So tell me firsthand, just from the actual training content, the strategy, is it easy to follow? Do you find it easy to implement? Tell us about that.
Yeah, I think that was my biggest hesitation because I really was just unsure of the format. I am a very checklist oriented person. I love visuals. So the fact that you have these modules are all right there and you just watch them. You usually have like some type of PDF that we can download and fill out. You're on there speaking. So it's like it's so engaging. It feels like a one-on-one call with you every time I work on a module. So the content is incredible. The organization is amazing. I needed that. Like I needed something that I could really just have a flip because I didn't know what I was doing. So if you're floundering around, you're like, I don't know what I'm doing. You just follow the modules. Like it's all right there for you and it's perfectly laid out. Like the order sequence, spot on. Like it's amazing. So I would say if you're worried about what the modules look like or how they're organized, from a previous teacher who is a little psycho organized. They're amazing.
Teacher approved. I like
Yes.
it. I love it. Okay, awesome. Well, thank you so much, Whitney. Hang out for another minute here. I
Okay.
want to share some updates to everyone on this video and also watching the replay. So first things first, you guys heard from Kelley, Daisy, and Whitney, and they are the Breakthrough of the Year finalists. And there is a chance to vote for the Breakthrough of the Year winner. So I'm going to type it into the chat really quick. It's monicalittlecoaching.com/breakthrough. Hopefully I spelled that right. But there you can actually see their videos and hear even more about them. And you can vote. This is why I don't choose, because it's damn near impossible. And I put it into your hands. Choose the one person that you want to vote for. And then tomorrow morning, voting is until midnight tonight. Tomorrow morning, we're going to crown the Breakthrough of the Year winner. And these amazing business owners are just so inspiring. But the one person, the lucky winner, will get $1,000 cash, a custom trophy. Let me show you this trophy actually, because like I am just obsessed with this trophy. It's like the
It's so
cutest little thing, and it
cute.
says Breakthrough of the Year on it.
It's
And they
so
get to be
cute.
featured on the podcast too. So I love to just give back to the PBA community for inspiring others. So also I'm going to post in the chat really quick all of their Instagram handles. So Maddie and Me Handmade, little, oh gosh, typing and talking is tough. And then cleansed, pure, and simple. Please double check those. Daisy, Kelley, and Whitney, make sure I got it right. But please follow these incredible business owners. Check out their page, see what they're doing, because they are just doing big things and amazing people to follow. Last thing I will say is the doors to PBA close at midnight tomorrow. So you heard from these three business owners that this has really helped them grow both personally and professionally. And if you don't take my word, take their word. I'm not paying them to be
No.
here. They're not actors, but they are real business owners who have just done awesome in PBA. So there's the link to join PBA for those who are considering. And thank you, Whitney, for being here. Thank
Thank
you,
you,
Kelley and
Monica, so
Daisy.
much.
You guys are awesome. And thank you, everyone, for tuning in. And we'll see you all soon. Take care.
Thanks, Monica.
Bye.
See ya.